The UFC is going from across the pond to south of the border, and they are thinking outside the bun. And that bun is whether Brandon Moreno can win or not. We have had 8 fight nights so far in 2025. 4 of those 8 were headlined by a former world champion, and 0 of those former world champions won their fights. The question becomes, can Brandon Moreno buck that trend? Can he win in a fight night main event to get him one step closer to his belt? My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks. I'm going to break down the entire UFC Mexico fight card, giving you my picks, predictions, and bets. But before we look forward, let's look back at UFC London. That card sucked. That card sucked. On paper, it was a spectacular fight card. We had a bunch of really good matchups. We had a couple of interesting situations. And then in execution, every fight sucked. Every fight sucked. That's a bit of an exaggeration. Main event didn't suck, but it was a one-sided thwomping. So it meant something for the division. Sean Brady moved himself closer to a title shot, so that mattered. The rest of those fights didn't matter, were boring as hell, and everything you need to know is that the undercard broadcast went over by 20 minutes. That's how boring those fights were. But if you want my full, raw, half-drunk recap and reaction, here's the thumbnail. Big Ange with the Home Alone face walks you through the entire card, and I promise you, my recap, my reaction to UFC London is far more exciting than the actual UFC London event. Check that out now. This is the thumbnail with Big Shocked Ange. After you do that, head over to Jacob's socials and give him some flowers. Say, here's your flowers, Jakey boy. Hey, good job, Jake. And that's because Jakey boy has hit 6 underdog lock of the weeks in a row. If you don't know what that is, Jacob takes an underdog every single week, stamps his name on it, calls them the lock of the week, and then rides them till dawn. He has hit 6 in a row, 7 of 8. That's an underdog on every single card. And I know this is the year of the dogs, but this is not an easy feat. I can promise you, there's nobody on this planet that somehow picks underdogs as well as Jakey Boy does. Nobody. Literally nobody. He's hit 6 in a row. His all-time streak is 10. He has hit 10 in a row. He's at 6. We'll see how far this goes. The underdog lock of the week is not only wildly entertaining, but wildly profitable as well. A 111% ROI if all you did was throw 1 unit at every single lock of the week. If you threw 1 unit at every single lock of the week in this recent stretch, you not only would get all of the units you put out back, but then a net profit of almost 9 units. You'd more than double your money just picking an underdog every single week. Jakey Boy's the best in the world at it. I don't know how he does it, but thank God he wears this helmet to keep that big brain of his super safe. Check out the lock of the week. It is free, meaning he puts the video out, he puts it on this channel, he tells you who the lock of the week is for nothing. But if you want to see the lock of the week early, if you're a premium member and you go to WeWantPicks.com, you go to analysis, you click on official bets, you'll see every single bet we have on the board. And he's not going to say this is the lock of the week because he doesn't want to spoil it. But it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes. Wait, hold on. Sherlock Holmes is English. Is there a Mexican detective? We've got Angela Lansbury. She doesn't look too Mexican. We've got Matlock. No, he was a lawyer. Is there a Mexican detective? Closest thing I could think of is a cop, and that's Ponch, the motorcycle cop. He was Mexican. Well, anyway, you don't need to be a Mexican detective to figure out who that lock of the week is. At WeWantPicks.com on the official bets, you'll just see Jacob has a bet on an underdog. Some deductive reasoning skills will get you there. What you'll also see at WeWantPicks.com are a whole bunch of tools. We have spent an enormous amount of time, money, and effort building out WeWantPicks.com to be the greatest single source of data, insight, information, tools that you could ever need heading into a fight week. I don't care what you do on fight week. You just place a few bets with your friends. You play some DraftKings fantasy. Maybe you just do some prize picks, some underdogs. I don't care what you do. WeWantPicks.com has everything you could ever need. If you are on the DraftKings fantasy side, we have an optimizer that will build lineups for you. And what we did is we built this from scratch. This is our optimizer. It's not a lease. We're not borrowing it from somebody else. It is ours. And the one thing that we focused on here was not only making sure it had every feature and function a seasoned DraftKings player can need, but we also added a beginner mode for all the new people out there that are looking to enter the world of DraftKings Fantasy. All the people that love playing fantasy football with their buddies and their bros that want to play some DraftKings Fantasy for UFC, but they don't know how to use an optimizer because there's a lot of random numbers and it can be intimidating. We added a beginner mode that's just going to ask you some questions. Hey, what 3 fighters you like the most? Hey, which 3 fighters do you not like? Hey, any fighters you want to keep out of your lineups entirely? Just some normal human questions. Answer those questions, click next a few times, boom, here's your lineups. Head off into the sunset, right into the sunset with the lineups that this tool built you. We also have another tool for the more experienced people out there called the Fight Simulator. This will take every single fighter on the card. It'll bring in all sorts of information like historical DraftKings scoring, the implied probability, grappling stats, striking stats, and then it simulates the fights 100,000 times, and it gives you those outputs. And those outputs can be used to build DraftKings fantasy lineups, can be used for bets and whatever else you want to do. We also have a data analyzer. I wish we thought of a more clever name, honestly, but what the data analyzer is, it's basically a full-blown research hub in one spot. If you're the type of person that watches this video for A, my great looks and charming personality, then welcome to the show. If you're the type of person that watches this as part of your research routine and you watch 9,000 other people because that's what you do, great. I also assume you do some tape study and you watch the fights. I also assume you'll do a little bit of deep diving into statistics. This tool does all of that for you. And not only for this fight card. If you go to WeWantPicks.com and you go under tools and you click on data analyzer, the very first choice you can make on the data analyzer is what event are you trying to do research for? It is built out for the future. I think we're built out all the way through June. All the officially announced fights at least. And then you click on an event. You'll see all the fighters on that event. Select your fighter. It'll automatically show you your fighter and their opponent, a breakdown of their biometrics and their grappling and their striking stats. And then you have a full interactive data chart, whatever the hell we're calling it, where you can select whatever you want and add filters. I want to see how many significant strikes this fighter lands in decision wins. And the chart will beep, 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 boop, 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 adjust itself. You can see every single one of their fights. Hover over one of the plot points, which is a fight. It'll tell you their fight, their opponent, what the outcome was, who the judges were, what the scorecards are, everything. And then you click on it, boop, and that video pops up right in front of your face. So you can go ahead and do your own tapes. Literally everything you could ever need is inside this data analyzer if you like to do your own research. And everything you could ever need on the website is available inside of the app. We have an app. Just go to the App Store, search We Want Picks. Bingo bongo, here's the app. My beautiful face will welcome you with that $50 bonus. You also will have full access to every single pick, every bet, every tool, and push notifications. When we're talking about throwing a couple of bucks on a couple of fights here, timing is everything. I have seen more and more complaints from everybody in the betting world that UFC odds are getting out of control come fight night, and that is a true statement. We're seeing more mid-level fighters end up minus 700 favorites. We're seeing more Jordan Vucenics of the world shoot takedowns from 3/4 of a mile away because they have the lowest fight IQ in history, somehow be minus 500 favorites. But they're not that big of favorites. Those odds aren't that disgusting early in the week or a week in advance or sometimes 2-3 weeks in advance. Jakey Boy has bets on the board right now to UFC 315. So if you do want to check out all the bets, go to WeWantPicks.com. If you want to get notified the very second we place a bet, download the app, make sure notifications are turned on. If you become a premium member for freaking $10 a month, you whiny shitbird, these are the events you'll have full access to. This event, UFC Mexico, UFC Vegas 105, and then UFC 314. As it sits right now, UFC 314 seems to be the best pay-per-view of the year. UFC 314 is stacked top to bottom. Phenomenal main event. Great co-main event, just a fun one. Doesn't really matter for the division. The arrival of Patricky Pitbull. UFC 314 is stacked. And if you want to check out every single pick and bet for every single event in an entire month, it's only $10. Just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. And then, as you all know, for every single pay-per-view event, we film a vlog. You hang out with me for the day. We usually cook some good food, have some people over, get some live reactions to the fights. Part of the vlog is opening up the mail. I've got a stack of mail to my left that you all have sent me. Some of you are pricks. Somebody sent, it is from, hold on, I'm not going to get up. It's not Dixie Normus. Is it? It's a disgusting name, okay? And that's what's on the envelope. And there's some God knows what in there. I will open it for UFC 314 vlog. We'll read the mail. We'll see what's inside of it. Last month, somebody sent a blow-up doll. If you want to send something for the vlog, whether it's something heinous or maybe you've got a small business and you want to showcase a product, or maybe you just want to write a letter like our buddy Thomas Rinker sends. The address is We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406 in Prosper, Texas, 75078. Let's go ahead and break down this fight card. I do believe in this fight card. I do not think this is going to be the travesty that was UFC London, because I believe in the Mexican people. I think they're going to show up and they're going to show out. Their culture is built on the fighting spirit, not on potatoes with beans. Opening up the UFC Mexico fight card, we have Austin Hubbard, an American, taking on MarQuel Mederos, an American. But this could be a pretty fun fight. Austin Hubbard, gritty guy, pretty good everywhere. He's got a ton of heart, a decent amount of power in his hands. He's mostly a striker, though. He's pretty well-rounded overall. He can be taken down, but if he does get taken down, he's got a good enough get-up game. He can create some scrambles. Overall, decent at everything, great at nothing, not dangerous at all. He is coming off that loss to Alexander Hernandez, where he basically just marched forward, threw a ton, but he wasn't fast or clean. He's taking on MarQuel Mederos. MarQuel Mederos is a pretty good striker. He strings together combinations well. He throws up a ton of volume. He is insanely comfortable in fights, and he flows really well. He's primarily a striker, but he can grapple. He's got slick takedowns, slick defense, slick submissions. He's coming off that straightforward win in his UFC debut where the striking and the takedown defense were clean, but the takedown offense needs a little bit of work. MarQuel Mederos is good. If you only saw his Contender Series win, then you would think he was great. He's fast. He can make things happen. But in his last win, he was just okay. And it gives me a little bit of caution here. He should be good enough to outstrike Hubbard, who's just a little more flat-footed. But MarQuel needs to be ready for a lot of movement. Austin is going to march forward. He's going to stay busy. And if MarQuel doesn't get his footwork going, and he's just backing straight up and losing the minutes, this could be a problem. I am going to pick MarQuel here. And I just really going to come down to Austin Hubbard's kind of sloppy, just works hard, grinds, but not great. But I don't think I can bet on MarQuel here. 2-1 odds, and we might just get Austin Hubbard marching forward, staying in MarQuel's face. Guys, how many young prospects need to lose close or even wide decisions this year before we stop going all in on them? I'm picking MarQuel. He's not undefeated, which honestly, thank God, because the undefeated guys are not having a great year. Then we have Jamall Emmers taking on Gabriel Fly Miranda. I'm going to tell you right now, you can fast forward. Jamall Emmers is going to be the pick. And if your sportsbook has odds that resemble anything like the minus 218 that you see here, jump on it. Jump on it. Jamall Emmers is going to be minus 700 by the end of the week. If you have odds that look anything like this, you need to go 10 toes down, standing on business, because Jamall Emmers is going to win this fight. But we'll talk about it. He's a good striker. He's actually a wrestler by trade who evolved into a striker. He has a pretty bad 40% takedown accuracy, but his defense is an incredible 90%. He's only 3-5 under the UFC umbrella, so he does have a losing record, but his losses are solid. A couple of them were robberies. He's coming off that loss to Nate Lane where we did see big power. We saw some composure, but we also saw him slow down when the pressure was put on him. He's taking on Gabriel Fly Miranda. Bit of a jiu-jitsu nerd. He is a slick grappler, but I do fear he is full-blown jiu-jitsu nerd at this point in his career. He's very much an old-school BJJ guy, so he's going to work from position to position. He's going to look for submissions instead of TKOing if he ends up on top. The problem is that he can be submission or bust, and he's just so good and so comfortable at jiu-jitsu, he's totally fine maybe getting a takedown and getting swept or just chilling on his back, throwing up nonsense. He's coming off that knockout loss to Morgan Chairez, where the takedowns were that of a small child's. So he said, you know what? Let me just start pulling guard. And I don't care how complicated these young kids try to make math. I don't care if you're doing Common Core math. I don't care if you're rubbing a couple of sticks together. I don't care if you're using an abacus. 1 + 1 = 2. And that's the formula here. Jamall's power plus Gabriel's lack of a chin equals Jamall wins. The formula is that simple. If you want to get fancy, you can go with a KO prop. Jamall's too good of a wrestler to be taken down by a guard puller and too powerful of a striker to not have success on the feet. Jamall is the pick. I cannot believe these odds are what they are right now. They're not going to be here long. If you wait till Saturdays to watch these videos, and then you're like, oh shit, let me go play some, and he's minus 700, told you. And if the odds go the other way for some reason, sometimes you just get it. It's okay, guys. No big deal. Then we have Rafa Garcia taking on Vinc from Hell Pichel. Great nickname. Great mustache, honestly, but a bit of a fucking crybaby. If Vinc Pichel isn't one of the most emotionally soft people in the UFC, I don't know who is. We'll talk about that in a second. First, let's talk about this fight. We got Rafa Garcia, the Mexican. Finally, we got a couple of Mexicans on the UFC Mexico fight card. Rafa Garcia is a good grappler. He's got decent hands. He used to be an absolute dog. He used to come forward, fight with everything he had. He would be completely gassed, and he would still push forward. He would still chase a knockout. But he's been different as of late. He's been pretty inactive. He doesn't seem to have that same fire in his belly. And while he was once a grinding grappler with very real power in his hands, he seems to be sort of a jabbing striker as of late who doesn't like to grind. He's coming off that TKO loss to Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson finished this dude. Grant Dawson doesn't finish a bag of chips, but he finished Rafa Garcia, and that's a bad sign. Taking on Vinc Pichel. Vinc Pichel is a pretty good fighter. Good in and out striker. He's got lots of movement. He picks his shots pretty well. I wouldn't say that he's like overly technical, but he does time things well. He's got solid offensive wrestling. He averages almost 3 takedowns per fight. But the most surprising stat is that even though he is a good offensive wrestler, this guy gets taken down way too easily. He has a 25% takedown defense, and he has been taken down 24 times in the UFC. He's coming off that decision loss to Ismael Bonfim, where we saw the durability, but we also saw the age. He is a 42-year-old man. He was essentially a step behind that entire fight. Vinc and I have a little bit of a weird history. We've got a little bit of a Twitter beef going on. Last year, before he fought Bonfim, we uploaded our breakdown, Jakey Boy and I, as we always do, as we always have, and as we always will. And Vinc lost his mind. The weirdest part about his insane, social media spiraling, his ridiculous outburst, was that we didn't say anything mean. We didn't say anything mean. And he kept calling all of us non-binary liberals. I mean, he full spiraled out of nowhere. He was triggered by mostly compliments. I highlighted his durability, his skill set. I picked Bonfim because Bonfim was not an elderly man. And I said, Bonfim's got a nice jab and he's young. But that didn't stop Vinc Pichel's full spiral. It even got to the point where we challenged each other to a grappling match. Said, hey, tell you what, Vinny, once we're done with this fight, let's meet up. Let's have a good old-fashioned grappling match. $1,000, $500, I forget what it was. Send the money to charity. Let's just get after it. Who cares? And I am not going to lose a grappling match to a 155-pound 42-year-old. That's not happening. I DM'd him. Tried to set it up. I was left on red. Ball's in your court, Vinny. As far as this fight goes, I actually think Vinc Pichel's going to win this fight. 3-1 dog. And I actually think he's going to win the fight. He is a crybaby. He lets words hurt him. You learned that as a kid. Sticks and stones, Vinny. Sticks and stones. But he's physically very tough. He's not a quitter at all. And as long as he isn't significantly slower in this matchup, which he might be, but Rafa's just a shell of himself, I think he can get his wrestling going. I think he can get his striking going. And I think he could just literally outwork a fading, aging Rafa Garcia. Rafa Garcia is not the durable man he used to be. The fact that he's only 30 is shocking because in fight years, inside the octagon, he's just beat up. He's slowing down. He's not what he used to be. And Vinc Pichel is quite literally an old man, but he's still doing everything he can to do. He's still trying to win these fights. He's putting himself in positions. He's not a quitter. He's moving forward. He lost his last fight to just a young, fast prospect. I think Vinc Pichel can win this fight. And here's the DM. Okay? Hey, Vin, easiest way to get a hold of me is phone or email. For now, here's my email address, and we can sort out the details after your fight. info@wewantpicks.com. My name is Angelo, and I'm the one in the video. Left on red. I wouldn't want the smoke either. 6'3", 260 pounds, been wrestling for 25 years, started jiu-jitsu in 2002. I wouldn't want the smoke either. I get it. It's all right. Then we have Lupita Godinez taking on Julia Polastri. It's a loopy fight week, guys. It's a loopy fight week. It's time for everybody to forget how terrible Lupita Godinez's in-cage decision-making is, and let's only focus on her incredible talent and how good she can be. So I'll kick it off. Lupi is the most talented fighter in the division. I think she wins this fight. Sure, she almost beat Vergara. She almost beat Dern. But she decided to do dumb shit and give those wins away. Sure, her sister is an Olympic wrestler. Sure, she lost to the least dangerous person in the division, in Angelo Hill. But her boxing's clean, and she's got all the talent in the world. That is a Lupita Godinez fight week breakdown. Terrible decision-making. Gives fights away. Doesn't seem to care. But fuck, is she talented. She's basically the Kevin Holland of the women's division. And I fell for the Kevin Holland trap last week. I'm going to fall for the Lupita Godinez trap this week. We'll start on the other side. Julia Polastri is pretty good. Well-rounded fighter. Slick striking, solid grappling. Her striking technique is clean. Plenty of straight punches, good kicks. She's got power for this division, and she doesn't even chase. She does get taken down pretty easily, but when she's on the ground, she's got good jiu-jitsu. She'll throw things up. She'll hunt for submissions. She's coming off that decision win over Corey McKenna, where the striking was clean and tight. Lupi, on the other side of that cage, I can literally say anything and be correct. I can say she's got phenomenal striking. I'd be correct. I can say she's got phenomenal wrestling. I'd be correct. I can say she's got trash striking. I'd be correct. I can say she makes horrible decisions. I'd be correct. It's just the wild decision-making that she has inside that cage. She was going to beat Verna Jandiroba. Close fight. And we all know Verna. Moving forward, looking left. Gonna grind, gonna shoot, gonna stay in your face. And Lupi was defending takedowns. Lupi was having success. Then all of a sudden, Lupi was like, let me go for an armbar, or whatever the hell she did. Gave that fight away. Same with Mackenzie Dern. Great striking in that fight. Was doing really well. Then just started to give it away. Lupi Godinez can beat any woman in this division if she fights to her potential. Problem is, you literally don't know what version of her you're going to get. You have no idea what version of her you're going to get. Are you going to get the grinding wrestler? Are you going to get the in-and-out striker? Are you going to get the person who makes wild decisions for no reason whatsoever? I don't know. But I am going to fall into that trap. I am going to do the full circle of life. Say how annoying she is. Remember how she let you down in her last fight. Remember losing money on her. Then be like, yeah, but she is good. She is good. Ooh, she's good. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bet on her. That's the full circle. And then we'll get back here. I'll be here on Saturday night sitting in the chair being like, how could you bet on Lupi? She's so stupid. She makes terrible decisions. But hey, I'm on the track. We're running laps. Circle of life. I'm picking Lupi. I will probably bet on her. I'm going to see where these odds go. I see a lot of people putting money on Julia Polastri. So maybe the Lupi line will get even tighter and it won't be such a crazy bet. Or she ends up minus 200 and just fucking does dumb shit. I'm picking Lupi. I got to go with the talent. I did the same with Kevin Holland. I'm doing the same here. She lost 2 fights in a row. She's not losing 3 in a row. Somebody at her talent level is not losing 3 fights in a row. It is not happening. I'm picking Lupi. Then we got Costa taking on C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez. Costa is a pretty well-rounded guy. He got creative striking, solid grappling. His takedowns are a little forced, but he is strong enough, persistent enough that if he gets you to the cage, he will work you to the ground. You'll see him work for takedowns pretty often, but lots of times he doesn't even need them because he's got good enough striking as well. He's got powerful hands, solid technique, strings together combinations well. He'll even mix in a spinning attack or two. He's coming off that submission win over Andre Fili, where Melk was Jakey Boy's underdog lock of the week. I walked through that lock of the week streak earlier. Costa is right smack in the middle of that. He's taking on Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez, very frustrating gentleman, but slick striker, solid movement, good speed, decent takedown defense at 69%, but he has been taken down a shocking 24 times so far in the UFC. He has established himself as a prospect killer, multiple divisions. He's got 6 wins in the UFC, and every single one of them was over a UFC prospect. I will caveat, though, that almost every single one of those wins has a little bit of an asterisk next to it. He missed weight a bunch of times, got forced out of his division, got a couple of God's gift decisions. But here he is, 12-2, just continuing to knock off young prospect after young prospect. His latest triumph was over Austin Bashi on the first fight card of this year. I was there in person. when he beat Austin Bashi. And if you remember, Christian Rodriguez flipped off Jacob inside the cage. He looked at Jacob through the cage and flipped him off. And I was sitting right there on the couch next to Jakey Boy at UFC Vegas 101. Before the fighters walked out, here's your backstory. Before the fighters walked out, they wait in the holding area. And the holding area is sort of open to everybody. It's just anybody can walk up and like see the fighters in the holding, whatever it is. So he's standing there in the holding area. And Jacob is friends with Isaac Dulgarian, who Christian Rodriguez beat. So Jacob took a picture of himself, just thumbsing down Christian Rodriguez. It's just thumbs down, said no words, didn't yell, just thumbs down, took a picture so he could send it to Isaac. That was it. Christian obviously saw that because inside the cage, in the middle of that fight, he flipped Jacob off. The judges also flipped this off because I actually thought Austin might have done enough to win that fight. And that wasn't the consensus after the fact, right? Inside that arena, everybody felt like Austin Bashi won that fight. But in the real world, actually, no, in the arena is the real world. You people were not in the real world if you're watching on TV. But the TV world, everybody felt like Christian won. So, fine. Wouldn't be the first time you guys said I had a bad take. I didn't pick C-Rod in that fight. I didn't pick C-Rod when he beat Isaac Dulgarian. I don't pick Christian Rodriguez fights correctly. I've picked them all wrong. I'm pretty sure every single one I've picked wrong. I'm going to pick him to win here. He's clearly a very good striker. He's got good takedown defense. He's got fantastic composure. But before you throw your money on him, I need you to remember that Christian Rodriguez has not beaten any established UFC fighter. The 2 times he wasn't fighting a young prospect, he lost. Jonathan Pierce took him down 6 times. Julia Rosa subbed him. And Mel Costa is like somewhere in between. He's a young guy, so you can call him a prospect, but he's got UFC experience. So this is going to be a very interesting fight. I'm going to pick C-Rod here, but again, I have never picked a Christian Rodriguez fight correctly. Here is the breakdown of everything that happened. There's Christian Rodriguez in the holding area. Here's Jacob with the thumbs down, right? Here's your thumbs down picture. And then here's Christian fighting Austin Bashi. And here he is, flipping Jacob off. Let's see if we can pause it. Go ahead. Boom. You can see that flip off, and you can see me all the way to the right, black hat, gray hoodie, or gray shirt. That's me sitting there. Right next to me is Jacob. And he's just, bang, flipping Jacob off. Pretty funny, honestly. Then we have Jose Daniel Medina, and he's taking on Ateba Gautier. Jose Daniel Medina. Good ground and pound fighter. Decent striking. Dangerous top work. He's almost a throwback to the old school days of MMA, like a Mark Coleman, where you just get a takedown and work off top. When he is striking, he's got clean boxing, but nothing too crazy. He's not particularly clean. He's not particularly fast, but he's there. His hands are always in the right places at the right times. He stays nice and tight. His takedowns are also just okay. But when he ends up on top, he does an awesome job maintaining positions, doing sort of like in and out work, creating some damage. He's coming off that decision loss to Zach Reese, where he showcased the toughness, but he also showed us, he doesn't have a lot of skills. He's taking on Ateba Gautier. This guy's a nasty striker. Incredible speed, incredible power. He does a phenomenal job mixing up boxing and kickboxing. He'll throw the head, he'll throw the body. He will light up your guard and then start firing kicks off combinations. He's a very dangerous guy with not only 5 finishes, but 5 early finishes. He's a freak athlete. He comes in hot, but like so many others, that flame does die down as that fight goes on. His cardio is mediocre, and his ground game is as well. And the question becomes, especially after UFC London and a little bit of a Mick Parkin situation, how many expensive-ass undefeated fighters or UFC debuts do we need to bet on and lose? How many of these expensive-ass touted prospects need to lose before people just stop betting on him blindly? Everything on paper says Ateba is going to win this fight. Everything on paper. He hits hard. He's lightning fast. He's very dangerous. He's young. He's got a better record. But the reality is that if he cannot get Jose out of there early, he might struggle and then full death gas. Jose is tough as shit. He's very durable. It's not a foregone conclusion that Ateba is just going to knock him out and be done with it. This might be the best live bet fight of all time. If Ateba does not get Jose out of there early, he's going to leave that first round after beating him up pretty good. And Jose is going to be a massive dog. And he might be worth the money because I don't think the cardio is going to be there rounds 2 and round 3. And if Jose is still there rounds 2 and round 3, then Jose can pull this off. Just a tough, durable-ass dude. Frankly, I'm going to pick Ateba because he is so dangerous. He's so dangerous early. And nothing about Jose Medina is spectacular other than he's very durable and tough. But if you think the cardio is going to be gone, Jose might be a great dog bet. I mean, inside the distance decision, no action is probably a decent bet too. Same bet I had on Caio Fernandez when he smoked Garam. We have no place in 2025 for almost minus 600 UFC debuts. Those days are gone. Don't fall for that trap. Then we have Edgar Chairez taking on CJ Vergara. Edgar Chairez, decently well-rounded guy. His striking offense is fast. It's in your face. His takedowns are decent. His BJJ is pretty good as well. The only real issue for Edgar is he's insanely hittable. He's got a good enough chin that it doesn't fully matter, but you can't just get boxed up over and over and over and over and last forever. He will just come forward. He'll throw long kicks. He'll box you up. He might even snatch up a single leg, try to look to get it to the ground. He's coming off that decision loss to Josh Van, where he was using his reach pretty well. He blasted Josh a handful of times before almost being finished and then surviving with a wild back fist in an exchange. He's taking on CJ Vergara. CJ Vergara is a high-pressure guy. He's going to move forward. He's got a ton of motion. The boxing's pretty clean. He's got solid knees. He likes to fight inside the pocket where he can try to use some clinch work, showcase some of that power. He is a never-say-die kind of guy. And while he has no recorded takedowns in the UFC whatsoever, his BJJ is solid and so are his scramble skills. He's coming off that early knockout loss to Ramazan Temirov where he was dropped 3 times before ultimately being finished. And CJ's a guy that I've been pretty high on in the past. He's aggressive, he's fast, he's tough. He fought a pretty high-level slate of competition so far, but he just seems to fall short when it matters. And I think this is one of those fights. Edgar's not great, but he's very long. He's pretty active. He's very tough. I think Edgar can literally tough out a win here and have some success. Edgar's going to be the pick. And it might be my historical bias talking because I do like CJ Vergara, but I think CJ's a pretty good dog here. I'm going to pick Edgar, but CJ might be one of the better dogs on the card. Edgar's not that good. He's just tough and long. And if you want to be tough, long, and $50 richer, just go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of those partners using the links, make a deposit, send you $50 a day. It's affiliate marketing. That's all it is. You're going to use the affiliate link. They're going to pay us commission because it was an affiliate link. And then we'll slice off some of that money and give it back to you. Very, very simple process. Got to use the link on the website. And then after you do that, explore the website a little bit. We have a brand new optimizer for premium members. We have a brand new fight simulator for premium members. Premium members have full access to everything that the website has to offer. We've got picks, we've got bets, we have an artificial intelligence. We have 5 different analysts giving you picks and bets. We have 5 different analysts giving you their thoughts on round line leans, identifying their most confident picks, breaking down fights. We've got Artem, this bloke from New Zealand, breaking down more than just UFC. He picked the perfect Cage Warriors card just last week. Every single thing that we have to offer on the website is in one package for $10. Just go to WeWantPicks.com, unlock all of it in one fell swoop. If you hate it, cancel. If you love it, $10. Who gives a shit? And you will unlock all of that for an entire month. Here's the events you're going to get for that month. You're going to get UFC Mexico. That's this fight card. You're going to get UFC Vegas 105. And you're going to get UFC 314, a spectacular pay-per-view. Every single thing that we do, one package. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's $10 measly. $10 measly. I would say your girlfriend spends more than $10 on a Starbucks coffee, but I imagine most of you don't have girlfriends, and that would probably hurt your feelings, and then you'll get all sad, like, oh, I should have a. So I'm not going to say that. What I will say, it's only fucking $10, dude. Jesus Christ. And everything we offer is inside of the app. Download the app. Even if you're not a premium member, don't ever want to be a premium member, download the app because you'll get push notifications. A few weeks ago at UFC 313, we had 2 fights cancel that morning. And we used the push notification feature in the app to tell everybody, hey, these fights were canceled. Adjust your bets, adjust your DraftKings lineups, make whatever changes you have to make now. These fights were canceled. Because maybe you're out and about and you didn't know and you're not doing things. You're not paying attention, but bzz, you got a push notification on your phone. That's how you found out. And if you are a premium member, you'll get push notifications about bets, when they're placed, all the happenings in the We Want Picks universe. Just search We Want Picks in the App Store. App is ready to go. Make sure notifications are turned on. Here's a reminder. We've moved some content. I got to keep this slide here until people stop asking me where the hell the Prize Picks video is. Holy shit. The Prize Picks video has been moved. We have 2 YouTube channels. We have this one, We Want Picks. Then we have Picks Nation. Picks Nation is a second channel. We do a few things there. All the individual fight breakdowns go there. We also experiment with some new content there to see how it's going to go. And what we've done is I've moved Prize Picks and Underdog to that channel because the Prize Picks and Underdog videos are wildly specific. So we moved them to that channel. So if you care about Prize Picks, Underdog, any of the new content we're putting out, subscribe to that channel as well. It's called Picks Nation. Here's the logo. Just search Picks Nation. You'll find it. It's not complicated. And again, here's the address. You want to send something for the vlog. We'll read the letters. We'll eat the food. We'll open the mail. We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406, Prosper, Texas, 75078. And finally, as you know, Hayabusa is a big supporter of the channel. I've been training different random arts, whether it's martial or otherwise, for a very long time. I've wrestled my entire life. I've done jiu-jitsu since 2002. Plenty of kickboxing, plenty of boxing, just big combat sports kind of guy. Hayabusa was always my brand of choice because it's high quality shit. Like, it is good, high quality stuff. I also love their no-gi shorts. And I've been using them for years. So I said, let me reach out. So I reached out and they said, dude, love the content. We're on board. And what do we do when people support us? We support them. They just released brand new gloves like yesterday. The T360s. If you've never used Hayabusa gloves, and if you're not just like some Cheeto dust couch warrior, you actually do something with your day, get yourself some Hayabusa gloves. These are high-end gloves. Like, these are not $38 gloves. These are nice high-end gloves. But it's, and I haven't used these ones because they're literally brand new, but I've used all their other stuff. Check them out. If you do no-gi jiu-jitsu, or even if you wrestle, their mid-thigh no-gi shorts, the best. Straight up the best. I've worn mine hundreds of times, washed the shit out of them, dry them, no issues whatsoever. Check them out. WeWantPicks.com/Hayabusa. You'll get, like, I forget what the discount is, but I mean, legit. I love their stuff. They support us. I worked with them. Rant. You guys know I managed professional fighters for a very long time. One of those fighters is Nick Newell. Nick Newell, the one-armed gentleman who fought Justin Gaethje in World Series of Fighting when he was undefeated. Hayabusa was a Nick Newell sponsor. And that's when we got, oh, this is nice shit. That's when I really started, and that was, 15 years ago? That's when I really started using Hayabusa stuff. And ever since then, I've been sold. Check out their stuff. It really is high quality. Opening up the UFC Mexico main card, we have Ronaldo Rodriguez taking on Kevin Borjas. Every time I break down Kevin Borjas, I'm expecting to look at a giant Russian. Borjas. That's not, nope. He's a tiny, I think Peruvian. Is that the Peruvian flag? I think he's Peruvian. Either way, we got Ronaldo Rodriguez. I can roll my R's. I am a fancy boy. He's a patient striker. He's got some real power. He likes to plot forward, find his spots, and then he'll just lay it all on you, trying to look for a finish. He has no problem eating leg kicks so that he can counter with big hooks. He is dialed in. He does get laser focused on the feet. He's got a solid chin, but he can be hit because he keeps his hands here at shoulder height instead of here. He's got decent takedowns. He's got good BJJ as well, but it only gets to the ground when other people take it there. He doesn't have good offensive wrestling, but he will let you take him down. He's coming off that win over Ode Osborne, where we saw that he wasn't very skilled, but he is very tough, like ridiculously, insanely tough. He's taking on Kevin Borjas. He's a clean striker, works in combinations well. He will use everything from straight strikes to low leg kicks, all while plotting forward. He can grapple if he needs to, but more often than not, he actually lets people just stand up if they end up on the ground. For the most part, he's a striker, got great combinations, mid-level takedown defense. He is coming off that loss to Alessandro Costa, where he had his legs kicked out. Even though he's the leg kicker, his legs got kicked out. Right now, Ronaldo is a slight favorite. A little bit of a minus 140, nothing too crazy. And it makes sense. If all you do is look at the last 5 record to make your decisions, or you watch anybody that has a webcam and a topology background, I can almost promise you that all these people are going to talk about is 2 losses in a row, Kevin Borjas, not UFC level, and that's bullshit. Because Kevin Borjas is actually pretty good. He's just had a really tough slate of competition. I actually think Kevin's the better striker in this matchup, and I'm going to pick him to win here. Ronaldo is hittable as hell, and he's not good. The problem with saying how tough somebody is that means we watched him get the shit kicked out of him. We only know you're tough because you got beat the shit up. And Ronaldo is tough. We watched Ronaldo get sort of a homer decision on Mexican Independence Day at Noche UFC, and he might get more the same here because I don't think Kevin's going to be able to get Ronaldo out. And if we're in Mexico and the Mexican judges are taking care of the Mexican people, unlike the UK judges who could give a shit about the English people, Ronaldo might get a close decision here. So maybe the bet should be Kevin Borjas plus 3.5 if these odds widen. But I think Kevin can win this fight. Don't get sucked into the last 5 or any of that bullshit. None of that shit matters. None of it. I think Kevin Borjas can absolutely win this fight. Then we got David Martinez taking on Simon Oliveira. David Martinez is the pick. This is another fight. Remember my Jamall Emmers breakdown? This is another one. He's minus 400 today. He's going to be minus 1,100 come Saturday. Literally. I mean, Simon's fucking bad, dude. We'll talk about it. David Martinez, very mobile striker. He moves a lot like Dominic Cruz, just constantly moving, changing angles in and out. He does a nice job picking shots, setting things up. He can be a little bit low volume, but because of his movement, you almost don't even notice that he's low volume. He's got great leg kicks to slow you down. Solid power when he throws. The movement is incredibly beneficial both offensively and defensively. His takedown defense is solid as well. And he's overall a pretty good prospect. He's taking on Simon Oliveira. Slick BJJ guy. Incredibly flexible. Literally dangerous from anywhere on the ground. I've compared his ground game to Charles Oliveira. They fight somewhat similarly. They've got the same type build. They move the same way on the mat. They always have like something in their hands on the ground. They're always working off their opponent's hips. His striking sucks. It's not very good. He throws one punch at a time. He tends to overreact to anything coming his way. People have had success just staying in his face, throwing combinations because of his overreactions. He's coming off that loss to Daniel Marcos 2 years ago, where his takedown attempts were trash and so were the random spinning back fists. I don't know why Simon Oliveira's been out for 2 years. I couldn't find anything. I was Googling. I was searching. I don't know if it was a suspension. I don't know if he got hurt. I couldn't find anything on surgery. I don't know why he hasn't fought in a couple of years. But honestly, it doesn't matter. He was dog shit before his last fight, and he's going to be dog shit now. In his last fight, he was a favorite. And I don't know why. He had trash takedowns, trash striking, random spinning attacks. Just not good at all. David has to be the pick here. I like the striking offense. I like the takedown defense. Unless Simon somehow reinvented himself in the last 2 years, there's no way he wins this fight. David Martinez is the pick. Then we have Raul Rosas Jr., and he's taking on Vince Morales. This is going to be a fun fight. Raul Rosas Jr., 3-1 favorite, and I get it. It's a pretty simple type breakdown here, but Vince Morales is an absolute dog. We know Raul, right? Non-stop wrestler. He's just going to grind forward. We've seen glimpses of power in his hands, but he has 15 takedowns in 6 fights with 31 minutes of control time. We know what he's looking to do. His striking definitely needs a little bit of work. He comes in reckless. He can put himself into harm's way for no reason whatsoever, but he's fast, he's athletic, he sets a relentless pace. He's barely 20 years old. He is improving pretty quickly. He's coming off the decision win over Richie Lang, where we saw the takedowns and the control, but we also saw that his BJJ is not as good as we once thought. He's taking on very durable, very tough Vince Morales. Vince, a decent striker, okay boxing. He makes up for any technical gaps with forward pressure and volume. He's always moving. He's always working something. He's got legit power in his hands, but he does tend to go to that power often and then fizzle out. If he doesn't find that finish, he will slow down as the fight goes on. He was cut by the UFC in 2022. Then he racked up 5 wins on the regional scene. He earned his way back to the big show, and now he's struggling to get a win. Back-to-back losses. That most recent was a close one to Elijah Smith, where he had the good early forward pressure. He had a handful of close submissions as well. On a card loaded with some pretty crazy odds, these are actually decent. Minus 300. 3-1 is how that translates. For Raul Rosas Jr. is decent because Vince is an absolute dog. And Rosas isn't as good as we thought, but Rosas can definitely wrestle, and I think that's all he needs to do here. I'm sure there's going to be a couple of nail-biting moments. I'm sure Vinc is going to defend a few, let his hands go, and we're going to be like, oh my God. But ultimately, I think Raul's going to pull it out. I think it's if we learned anything from Raul's last fight, it's that he has no problem being boring, and I think that's what he's going to do here. I think he'll entertain the striking a little bit, probably be on the wrong side of some of those, and then just wrestle his ass off and be boring as hell. Raul Rosas is the pick. I mean, in a year of the dogs, I don't think Vince Morales is going to be the dog. Then we got Kelvin Gastelum taking on Joey Pifes. His teammate, Sean Brady, just beat a former world champion. All of a sudden, these two are putting things together. It wasn't that long ago. Sean Brady lost to Bilal. Joe Pyfer lost his fight with male pattern baldness. Joe Pyfer got boxed up by a jiu-jitsu nerd. But now he's back. It's amazing how things swing around. And we are full swing. Joe Pyfer, incredibly powerful striker. Slick BJJ. He hits like an absolute truck. He used that pressure to break people. He's got nice, clean takedowns if he wants to use them. Solid BJJ. He's coming off that Turkish touch-up and a bounce-back win over Marc-Andre Barrault, where his power was on full display. But Joe Pyfer's not fighting Marc-Andre Barrault. He's fighting Kelvin Gastelum. And it's always interesting breaking down Kelvin Gastelum. Remember the breakdown I did for Kevin Holland last week? Remember the breakdown I did earlier today on Lupita Godinez? Just copy-paste every single word, put it on Kelvin. Wildly talented. If he died to his full potential, he can be a world champion. Like all the things. Kelvin Gastelum, as I've said many times before, might be the biggest waste of talent we have seen. He's a phenomenal Division I wrestler. He's got a chin made out of steel. There's no knocking him out. There's no wobbling him. Nothing. Granite chin. He's got decent power in his hands. He can do everything, and he can do everything well. He just has no work ethic whatsoever. Literally none. And let's not forget that, unironically, Kelvin Gastelum released a vlog series called Missing Weight, where he gorged himself on local foods and then missed weight in real life. He literally, I mean, it might have been the greatest advertisement for a vlog of all time. I didn't even know that vlog existed until he missed weight. And everybody's like, this fat bitch put out a show called Missing Weight where he had 12 tacos. And then he missed weight so bad they had to move the entire thing up a weight class. This is not a serious man. Kelvin Gastelum is the full-grown man version of Lupita Godinez. All the talent in the world, insane decision-making. The difference is Lupi makes stupid decisions in the cage. Kelvin makes stupid decisions out of the cage. There was a period of time where he synced up with Henry Cejudo. We're like, oh shit, he's going to live up to his full potential. And then he laid an egg. Kelvin Gastelum just isn't who we hoped he would be. He isn't the guy that we've seen flashes of. Kelvin Gastelum is not somebody who takes his career seriously, so you got to pick Joe Pyfer. The only concern, the one and only concern, is that if Joe comes in here with the Turkish touch-up, after knocking out Marc-Andre last year, thinking that he's going to knock out Kelvin Gastelum, no, you are not going to do that. You're not. You could come in with a 2x4 and you're not going to knock out Kelvin Gastelum. So if Joe comes in here swinging wild, one punch at a time, thinking that he's going to be able to do it, and then he's going to slow down and gas out, that could be a very real problem. I have to expect he's smart enough to know. I mean, Joe's not stupid. He's like an angry, bitter man, but he's not stupid. I have to imagine he's smart enough to know I'm not going to knock this dude out. I need to be prepared for a full 15-minute fight. Kelvin wrestled his ass off in his last fight. He might wrestle in this one. Like, I have to imagine he's prepared and he's ready for what will come. So Joe's going to be the pick. The odds might seem crazy, but Kelvin is not a serious man. He doesn't give a shit about his career, so why should we? That was a great line, by the way. He doesn't give a shit about his career, so why should we? And then I fucked it up. I should have immediately like, boom, next slide. And my finger slipped. I was admiring my work when I said that because I'm like, what a sick transition that is. He doesn't take his career seriously, so why should we? And I'm like, nice. And I moved my hand to the mouse and my finger fucking slipped and went, God, I should edit this all out and redo it. All right, here we go. He doesn't take his career seriously, so why should we? Then we have Manuel Torres taking on Drew Dober in the co-main event of the evening. Manuel Torres. Well-rounded guy. He's got dangerous striking, dangerous grappling. His striking's not very technical, honestly, but he uses knees from the clinch really well. He loves throwing head kicks. He loves blasting legs. He's long, he's skinny, and he does a really good job working with that. His submissions are those long limb-style submissions, triangles, power guillotines, anything that needs leverage and length. Same logic with the clinch work. He is coming off that loss to Ignacio Bahamondes, though, where it was clear that while Manuel Torres is a very good fighter, he needs to be the longer fighter. He needs to be the one controlling that range. And obviously, you're not going to do that with a 6'12" Ignacio Bahamondes. He's taking on Drew Dober. Drew Dober, as we all know, one of the all-time chins in look and durability. Durability is kind of on its way out. Look, though, still there. Drew Dober's a fun take one to give one kind of striker. He's got nice power, a willingness to brawl. He's technically sound, but that doesn't stop him from just getting wild. He only has a 56% takedown defense, but he does such a good job baiting people into firefights that they don't even shoot takedowns because they're like, oh, I'm having success touching them up. As of late, Drew Dober has been kill or be killed. He has not lost his power. The chin's not fully gone either. And you're going to say, well, he just got stopped by Jean Silva. That wasn't his chin. That was a nasty cut. But the problem is Drew Dober's at a point in his career where he's going to get matched up with tough young fighters. And we're going to find out that his best days are behind him. This is about when the UFC death spiral shows up for you. This is when they take their more fun, established fighters that are names, and they match them up against young guys. And this is when the established fighters that are names, that are more fun, that are getting a little older, just start to get smoked. And the UFC, tried and true process. Take somebody they love, let them get their ass beat by somebody you don't really know, and then now you know the new guy. And that's unfortunately what's going to happen here. I think we all love Drew from like a fan perspective, but as someone who needs to objectively assess a fight and pick a winner, I can't go with Drew here. Manuel literally is going to be better everywhere. He's long. He's got good, accurate striking. I think Manuel Torres is very, very, very good. So he's going to be the pick here. And I think these odds are nice. Like, these are good odds. And then we have the main event of the evening. Former world champion Brandon Moreno taking on Best Buy Geek Squad member Steve Erceg. Brandon Moreno, former flyweight champion of the world. One of the division's best. He's an absolute dog. He's a ton of fun to watch. He's very tough. He's got a great chin. He puts on a non-stop pace. He averages almost 2 takedowns per fight, and he mixes things up really well. His biggest asset is definitely his pace, his will to win. Just the unrelenting forward pressure. He will continue to come forward. He will stay busy literally no matter what's happening. He's coming off that bounce-back win over Amir Albazi, where he more than doubled the strikes. He's taking on Genius Bar Steve Erceg. Slick grappler. He attacks very quickly. He snatches things up and scrambles. His striking is improving, and he does do a nice job blasting calf kicks, solid volume as well. He's got a wide stance, limited head movement, which is why he is hit with more than 4 significant strikes per minute. He moves very fluidly. He sees his opportunities on the ground. He's coming off that knockout loss to Kai France, where speed was the biggest issue. I think technically speaking, Steve Erceg is like some sort of national wrestling champion or something like that. But we don't really see that. And I was really hoping people would be on the Erceg side here. I was hoping I can get some better odds on Moreno. It was only 4 months ago that Moreno was an underdog against Amir Albazi. And a lot of people, including me, thought that Moreno's a little worn out. The wrestling of Albazi will probably be too much. But that wasn't the case at all. Moreno looked great. And while I don't think he ever gets back to the title, I don't think he's ever going to win his belt again, I do think he beats a very overrated Steve Erceg. I think Moreno's pressure, his skill diversity is all going to be too much here. He's going to be the better striker. Even though technically speaking, Erceg's the better wrestler, I don't think he's going to be able to execute. He's not going to grind out Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno doesn't let you settle. Brandon Moreno's going to let his hands go. I think just the dog, the willingness to scrap, I think Brandon Moreno's going to win. He's an unbelievably composed guy. He's a wildly successful guy, considering he's only 31 years old. Moreno's going to be the pick. 2-1 odds seem very fair to me. Guys, that's the breakdown. Do me a favor. Download the app. Just search We Want Picks in the App Store. Make sure notifications are turned on so you can be told when we place bets, when we update content. We do those Slate Sleuth articles. We let you know when the optimizer is loaded. All those things come through on push notifications. Search We Want Picks in the App Store. On the website, we have quite literally the greatest offering in this space. And we've got, what, 4,500 premium members? And we've got a couple people for everything, right? We have premium members that are there just for the tools. We have premium members that are there for the bets. They've never even attempted to look at a tool. They just want to copy paste bets right off into the sunset. We have premium members there that are for the artificial intelligence. Hey, it's only $10 a month. I want to see what the AI thinks. We have premium members for every single regard. What I will say, what I will request of you is if you just showed up for a couple of bets, right? You just want to copy paste bets and hold whatever. Explore the site. Check out all the other stuff because I promise you, if you love DraftKings Fantasy, the new optimizer is unbelievable. If you love DraftKings Fantasy, the fight simulator is unbelievable. If you want to do some tape studies, some research, use the data analyzer. If you want to go prop bet hunting, we have a tool called the Prop Hunter. But if you want to dig a little deeper, the data analyzer will help you find prop bets. Every week I'm getting DMs with either prop bet tickets or like the fantasy, the prize picks, the underdogs being like, I did this, data analyzer helped me out. Because what you can see is how many takedowns a fighter is averaging. But then you can expand on that. You can see how many takedowns are the average. But I do think this is going to be a decision. How many do they average in a decision? How many do they average in a loss? I think he's probably going to lose. And you can get all of those stats, all that data, all that insight, then go to the sportsbook, see what line they set. Or then go to prize picks, see what line they set. And you could very quickly attack some of these lines just with data. Data is still king in a wild 2025 that has been UFC so far. Check out the data analyzer. Check out the line movement tracker. This is going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, the win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card so you can see where the money's going. You can see the trends. Here's the Prop Hunter. The Prop Hunter is a curated set of data. It is specifically designed to help you find prop bets. So you have fight time, significant strikes landed, significant strikes absorbed, takedowns given up, takedowns landed. All of that data is right here. You can sort, you can look at the fighters with their opponents, and then again, take that information, go to your sportsbook, go to your daily fantasy, find some spots. And it's not just beautiful me. It's not just gorgeous Jacob. We got a couple of odd-looking gentlemen from New Zealand as well. Artem picked a perfect Cage Warriors card last week, 2 weeks ago, depends when you're watching this. Bet Sam has been on absolute fire. Literally. Nobody's going to win every week. I think he lost a few bucks at UFC London. But the amount of money he's made leading up to UFC London, this dude's ability to find insane prop bets. He got plus 400 on Sean Brady to win by submission. And what did Sean Brady do? Won by submission. Check out Bet Sam's bets. He's killing it, especially the props. And check out the artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence, I think, don't quote me on this, has been picking at an 80% accuracy the last 3 or 4 cards. The AI is on something right now, too. It's definitely picking dogs. So check out the AI. All of this shit is on the website. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Explore the damn site. There's so much on there. You could spend an hour on there and still not hit everything. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Genuine. I know I curse a lot. I know I've got like this Northeast aggression about me. I cannot appreciate you guys enough. Genuinely. The views that this video gets, the views the channel gets, it's all amazing. Even the weirdos. There's tons of it's the internet. It's fucking weird. I appreciate every last one of you. Genuinely. Thank you for being here. I hope you appreciate the content as much as we like making it. Good luck this week. We'll see you for all the rest of the content.